oil search in Ghana. Probably goes back 100 years. And it's been a bit of a checkered road.
You know, for many, many years, Ghana has been looking for oil because our neighbors, especially in Nigeria, had found oil almost 60 years ago. And we always thought that the geology of the West African basin, the Gulf of Guinea, lent itself to Ghana also having oil.
In the mid-70s, it sort of took an upturn, and the discoveries around Salt Pond were made. And then it took a downslide again until the early 2000s when the Gupc field was discovered, first by Cosmos and then by Tullow. And through that, you know, the Gupc field was developed for production.
From the discovery to the time we had, you know, first oil in a very short period of time, which was quite exciting. People look back and say that, wow, this, you know, has been an exciting period because under normal circumstances, it takes much longer.
So Ghana started producing oil in 2010 from the Gupc fields. That was operated by, or is operated by Tullow in conjunction with the partners, Cosmos and Anadarko, and of course the Ghana National Petroleum Company, in addition to Petro SA.
Oil was produced, but gas was re-injected until about 2014, when gas, you know, was brought to shore for power generation. It's an industry with a bright future. The current state is that we have 3 producing fields with potential for additional fields in the future.
A small country like Ghana have 3 FPSOs, which is really, really, you know, significant, speaks volumes.
We're now doing the exploration, we're doing the drilling, we're building the infrastructure.
We expect that with the efforts that are going on now with the exploration, additional production fields will be discovered and put into production very soon.
We now have more than one operator. We've had Tullow, we have ENI, and now you have ACA.
I think the oil and gas industry in Ghana is getting very exciting. There's a lot of activity. We recently heard about the appraisal from ACA, for example, which is big. And so I think the industry is just getting bigger and bigger.
The industry has evolved by way of regulation and participation. In regards to regulation, we have had the Petroleum Commission established, we have the local content regulations passed, and what the Petroleum Revenue Management Act also passed.
Last year, as you know, the government launched a bid round, and there's a lot of excitement, a lot of companies coming in.
Especially now that we had the ITLOS decision made in Ghana's favor. All of the potential explorers who were waiting are now anxious to come in and secure blocks.
ExxonMobil, the biggest oil company out there, it's now in the country. So that, you know, tells you something. ACA, you know, came in, and ACA, you know, picked up blocks from the Hertz environment. It looks quite promising.
So the AMP Forum was started initially as an informal arrangement amongst the oil companies at the time to look at issues of common interest. The key players in the industry figured that perhaps it was time to evolve that forum into a formal chamber that can then provide a platform for a more formal engagement of the various stakeholders in the industry, of course including government and the regulator.
My experience has been that these type of industrial associations have been very beneficiary for the development of the industry in the country, both from the industry perspective, but not the least also from the governmental perspective.
I think the chamber will be of immense benefit to the industry in several ways. A key one of them will be collaborating with government in terms of legislation and regulation. As the industry is young, new laws keep coming up. And so the chamber can be a partner in terms of looking for best practice elsewhere.
And it's a permanent platform which enables all stakeholders to understand one another. The chamber can help all the different stakeholders to communicate with respect and with transparency, and I think that'll go a long way to helping the success and the sustainability of the sector.
We think it's a good natural step to have an industry group come together to advocate and to have a common voice to the government so we can share and collaborate with the government and all stakeholders.
VTOL expects a very professional and very transparent approach to advocacy by the Chamber.
We want to engender trust between the government and then the IOCs.
We have to have a common understanding and trust that we're both here to make things better.
My expectations to the Chamber is actually to involve the companies and for them to share their experiences. That is, for me, the most important thing.
Tullow believes this is going to be a very important platform for the industry to really address its concerns and promote its issues.
I believe in the industry. I believe the industry is growing. I believe in the chamber.
It's the time to bring parties together, to have a common voice around issues of interest in a way in which there can be mutual benefit for both investors and developers, as well as the government and people of Ghana.